Well, here are just a few.
Stage 20.
Now those are just some of the things that did shoot here on the lot that obviously aren't shooting here now because they're finished. That's not to say that we don't currently make movies here at Universal. Oh no, we have all kinds of projects in the works. For example, currently shooting here is some of the hit CBS TV shows CSI, Crime Scene Investigation, starring Lawrence Fishburne and Mark Helgenberg. Now most of the sets that are here on our front lot are what we call closed sets. And what that means is only the cast, crew, and invited guests are allowed inside. However, next time you come to Universal, you'll want to think about checking out our VIP experience. That's where you yourself can become one of those invited guests and tour actual working movie sets. Now, I should clarify, the CSI that films here is indeed the original CSI with Lawrence Fishburne. Not CSI Bakersfield, not CSI Sheboygan, not CSI Hackensack, but the original CSI. Now, over here on your right is Stage 28, one of the oldest sound stages in Hollywood. Now, over the years, hundreds of movies were shot inside 28, but it's well known for its very first production. You see, in 1925, Stage 28 was built to house the elaborate Paris Opera House set from the Phantom of the Opera, starring Lon Chaney, the man of 1,000 faces, in one of his most terrifying roles. And the Opera House set still stands on Stage 28 even to this day. Over here on your left is Stage 27, which is where some of the movie Little Fockers was shot. That's the third film in the Greg Fokker saga. 27 was also used in Evan Almighty, the sequel to Bruce Almighty, starring Steve Carell. Right now, though, we are about to move from the big screen to the small screen. Our TV history goes back some 70-plus years. For the very first broadcast was the opening ceremony of the 1939 New York World's Fair. Since that time, we at NBC have produced many of your favorite TV shows, including Friends, Cheers, Seinfeld, Law & Order, ER, Saturday Night Live, The Today Show, The Tonight Show, Fear Factor, Deal or No Deal, The Office, The Apprentice, My Name is Earl, and so much more. Now, a lot of those TV shows, hello Shag, hello Scuba, how you doing? A lot of those TV shows work on an extremely fast schedule. The average episode takes about a week to complete, from the first read-through to the final taping. Now, movies are a completely different story. The average movie takes anywhere from several months to sometimes several years to complete and involves literally hundreds of people. So where do all these movies and TV shows come from? Well, a lot of them come from these bungalows over here on your left-hand side. These bungalows house production offices for producers, directors, writers, and actors who currently have a development deal with the studio. Development is a stage of a project where the filmmaker tries to come up with an idea for a movie and then tries to get that idea produced. Sound easy? It isn't. Every year the studio receives thousands of screenplays. Of those screenplays, about 50 actually get put into development. And at the end of the day, maybe about a dozen or so actually get made into movies. So your chances of getting a script produced in Hollywood are unfortunately about as good a bet as winning the lottery. However, keep in mind, when lightning strikes, the rewards can be amazing. I mean, think about it. Money, power, money, fame, money. You know what, Jade? There might be something to that. I'm not sure. Yeah. Anyway, my name is Mr. Potato Head over there on your left. He is a sign of our new deal with Hasbro. We got a deal with Hasbro. We're making movies based on, I'm not making this up, your favorite board games. First up will be Monopoly, the movie. Other projects are going to include Candyland, the movie, Battleship, the movie, and Ouija Board, the movie. Although, personally, the one I want to see is Hungry Hungry Hippos, the movie. That's the one I'm waiting for. Makes me wish they were really doing that one, too. Anyway, right now, we are about to enter the Backlot, where the world is literally just around the corner. Now, we shoot the big stuff out here, exterior scenes on a large scale. Now, take a look at your screens, folks. I'll show you how our backlot works. A lot of what you're going to be seeing today are not real buildings. They're what we call facades, which are just the fronts and the sides of buildings. Look on your screens. I'll show you facades of French word meaning false front. And inside of most of our facades is primarily woodwork. Some of our facades don't even have insides. Look at these. And then there are some buildings on our lot that are called practical sets. And that means that we can shoot inside of them as well as out, just like this one. Right now we are going through the metropolitan section of our lot, and these are some of the newest structures on our lot. And the reason that I say they're new is because on June 1st, 2008, these sets burnt down in a terrible, terrible fire. And we knew all along that these sets must be rebuilt, and the design process began immediately.
It's the original.
Not yet, Pete. Based on decades of experience of some of the top filmmakers in the industry, we assembled an award-winning team to create new and improved backlot locations. Now, 3 whole years after this tragic fire, we are proud to be taking you through the largest set construction project in the history of Hollywood. You folks are truly a part of history. Right now, folks, we are on a road called Brownstone Street. Some of these sets are brand new, and others are replicas of what once stood here. Over here on your left, these townhomes are an example of the second category. These are definitely replicas of what once stood here. Some of the movie Bruce Almighty was shot here on Brownstone Street. Now, here's an interesting thing. Computer-generated imagery shows up in places in movies where you least expect it, even the ones that don't really count as effects-driven movies. You're going to see a clip from Bruce Almighty. Take a good look at it. I challenge you to figure out where the computer-generated imagery is in this scene. Take a look.
Grace, the dog! I'm in the shower! Inside bad, outside good. Inside bad, outside good.
Listen to that. Oh, you're done now.
Alrighty, folks. Now, quick question: Who found the computer-generated imagery? Who found it? Who thinks they know where it is? Anybody? Bueller? Saw a hand go up. I would ask you to answer, but I know for a fact I will not be able to hear you. I apologize, but I'll give you the correct answer. It was the doggy dribble. That was computer-generated imagery. That was not real. The dog wasn't really doing anything. They just pretty cool, huh? Anyway, right now we are about to turn onto the, if you will, main drag of our metropolitan area. This is called New York Street. Now, our pal Jimmy Fallon is actually from New York. He got a start on Saturday Night Live, and he continues to do his late-night show from New York even to this day. In fact, he's at this moment prepping for his late-night show, so he's actually in New York. He does have a few minutes to talk to us. So let's see if I can bring him in via satellite. So here he is, Mr. Jimmy Fallon, live from New York. I always wanted to say that.
Hey everyone, welcome to New York! I got my start right here in New York on Saturday Night Live. This is actually my old neighborhood. Once got mugged over there by an old woman. Tough lady. This is my favorite hot dog guy. Hey buddy, how's it going? Remember me? No. Just like old times. Gotta love New York City. Hey, I'm walking here! Hey, it's cool guys. I was just walking there. So it's not exactly New York, but a lot of times when you see New York in the movies, it was shot right here on the Universal Metro sets. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Even if you make it here on the Universal lot.
That's absolutely right. Already we've had a few high-profile flicks shoot here on New York Street. By high-profile, I mean big summertime tentpole blockbusters based on comic book characters. Captain America, the First Avenger, currently in theaters. That's shot on New York Street. Also, The Amazing Spider-Man and Transformers. In fact, next spring, 2012, we're going to have a brand new Transformers ride right here at Universal Studios Hollywood. And it's going to be in 3D, too. But speaking of 3D attractions, let's talk about our newest 3D attraction. And here to tell you more about it is the creator of the attraction, Mr. Peter Jackson.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I wanted to become a filmmaker. I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up in adventure. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times. So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island. It was great to have you along for the ride. Now, we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, but just have them in your hand because we're about to return to Skull Island.
That's right. Now, when we get to Skull Island, you're going to experience Kong in a way you never have before. And for those of us that are fans of the blockbuster film, it's a chance to continue the story of King Kong right here at Universal Studios. So here's Pete to tell us a little bit about this new chapter in the life of King Kong.
The Universal tram is winding its way through a very rough, narrow trail in Skull Island, allowing the visitors a little sneak peek at some of the wildlife of Skull Island. Glasses on, everybody. We're back in Skull Island.
Experience all. Yes, I am required to say it just like that. King Kong 360 3D, what you guys think, huh? Sweet, that's what I wanted to hear. That epic battle was projected on the world's largest digital 3D screens. They stand 40 feet tall, and they are 180 feet long. And the film was created by Peter Jackson and the team at Weta Digital. The filmmakers at Weta have won 5 Academy Awards, and they have worked on such films as King Kong, The Lord of the Rings trilogy, and Avatar. Now, I can honestly tell you, you will not need your 3D glasses for the rest of the tour, but hang on to them. We're going to have a place for you at the end of the tour. Now, King Kong is one of the newest experiences on our studio tour. We're always trying to come up with new and exciting things to show you. Right behind it, over here on your right, is one of the oldest experiences. It's the collapsing bridge. In fact, here's how the bridge looks on film. Take a look. Right now, folks, I want you to get your cameras ready because in just a few moments, we're going to show you some of the screen's most recognizable icons. Now, what you're going to be seeing on your left-hand side as well as on your screens are some great examples of what we call picture cars. A picture car is any car that's seen on camera. Whether it runs or not is irrelevant. If it's on camera, it's a picture car. Some picture cars are as famous as the stars who've driven them.
Okay.
And over the years, folks, picture cars have gotten bigger. Badder.
Да?
And faster as movie audiences embrace their need for speed. Speaking of embracing one's need for speed, one of our biggest films to use picture cars was the third film in the Fast and the Furious series, Tokyo Drift.
Ja Rule on one, yeah.
Now, filmmakers rely on our picture cars to really supercharge their movies. Adding just the right vehicle can make or break a big Hollywood blockbuster. And that's especially true for full throttle type films like Fast and the Furious, where motion control technology, along with computer-generated imagery, can help our filmmakers bring nearly impossible scenarios to life. Right now, gang, we're going to take you behind the scenes on Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, and we're going to show you how we can put these picture cars to practical use. This is special effects stage 55 that we're entering right now, and as you'll see, it's been decked out Tokyo style. Our special effects teams are working around the clock to not only dress the set, but to also prep our Fast and the Furious picture cars for today's special effects test run. Now, if you're sitting on the left-hand side, you've already got a killer view of today's test run, but if you're on the right-hand side, then when we stop the tram, and only when we stop, you can stand up and get a better look. I'll let you know when we're stopped.
Clear on the set.
Okay, we are now stopped. So if you're on the right-hand
Let's
side,
see the bullet head.
stand up, get a better look.
And go.
Please do not sit on the
Go.
railings. I know it's tempting. Please
Go.
don't sit on the railings. Thank you.
Fire. Go. Okay, we're clear for a full run-through. All systems checked. This one's for real, guys, so watch out. And action.
For Carnage and Karma, examples of motion control technology. Take them out, boys! Oh, that's awesome. You got any other cool moves for us? Well, ask a silly question. Alrighty, folks, if you're standing up, please sit back down. We're about to get the tram moving. Once again, big round of applause for Carnage, Karma, and the entire special effects team. Yes, I am as shocked as you are that I'm able to get that song out of my head every day. Now, motion control robotics like Carnage and Karma can take incredibly precise direction, and they can perfectly repeat their performances over and over and over again, all without ever questioning their motivation. Right now, we're about to move from the mean streets of Tokyo to a little island just off the coast of Costa Rica.
To Jurassic Park.
Yes, folks, we have some props and vehicles from all three of the Jurassic Park films coming up on both sides of the tram. Now, since the last Jurassic Park movie was in the summer of 2001, I think it's safe to assume that dinosaurs are extinct. Look out. Visiting from out of state, not from California. Do you have any non-Californians in the group? Where are you guys from? Turkey? How about you? Australia? Anyone else? Non-Californian? Where are you guys from? France. Welcome. All right, well, you guys probably aren't going to believe this. You non-Californians probably are not going to believe this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. A lot of people complain that here in Southern California, we don't get any weather. Day after day, same old boring sunshine. Wait, why am I even talking about weather when we can just go to the Today Show's Al Roker for the forecast?
Hi everybody, here's
Они
today's
говорят, у нас
forecast.
нету погоды. Это означает, что все время светит солнце. Когда мы говорим, у нас не погода, значит, наоборот, да? Интересно.
Expect snow and sleet on New York Street. And we've got a high chance of 5 of precipitation for Skull Island, Amity Island, and Island of That's your forecast for today. Now here's a look at what's going on with your neck of the woods.
Yikes, that's not a good thing. I don't know where you're getting that out. There's not a cloud in the sky. The sun's out. It's mid-80s out here. I don't know where you're getting this flash flood stuff from. I really don't. Don't know where you're getting this stuff from at all. And, oh my goodness, will you look at that? I think Alan may have been running the money on this one. Wow. Well, don't worry, folks. If we were in any real danger, why, we'd hear a distant rumbling sound. A rumbling sound. Kind of like that one, folks. Better brace yourselves. Here it comes. 10, 3, 4. It's right out. Here it comes. It's a flash flood. Alan, after playing a little bit of a gag on you, hear that flood is created by dumping thousands of gallons of water from the top of the hill. The water's going under the bridge is being recycled back up to the top of the hill. The rain you're seeing is created by sprinklers high up in the trees. They're called rain towers, and what they do is they spray the water up into the air so that it falls down naturally, just like rain. Now, I don't know how many aspiring actors we have on the tram today. I have to tell you, there's a moment in every actor's career, I don't care who you are, where you have to do something so ridiculous, off the wall, uncomfortable, undignified, that all you can say to yourself is, so this is showbiz. Take a look at this clip from the movie Big Fat Liar. I think this may have been one of Oscar nominee Paul Giamatti's moments.
You can't outrun the wolf, kid! Yeah, wolf, you got that. I got funny folks.
Now, imagine, if you will, that it's you filming that scene instead of Paul Giamatti. You get washed down the hill, the director yells cut, you stand up, you're dripping wet head to toe, and the director says, perfect, let's do it again. It does happen, let me tell you. Right now we are entering one of the western sections of our lot. This is called 6 Points, Texas, and here are two of my favorite cowpokes to tell you a little bit more about it.
Town ain't big enough for the both of us, Jimmy Fallon.
Well, I ain't going anywhere, Jimmy Fallon.
Now look here. Nice folks in this tram don't want no trouble. They just want to check out 6 Points, one of the oldest sets on the Universal line.
I hear this is where John Wayne and Jimmy Stewart shot a few of their westerns.
That's right. That's where I aim to shoot you.
Looks like we got ourselves a Mexican standoff. Lucky shot.
Now what say you mount up and get out of town while the getting's good?
All right. Well, I'll see you again, Fallon.
Oh, you can count on me. Thank you.
This is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
We just have to talk it out, that's all.
Alrighty, folks, now if you take a look around you might notice some of the doors are just a little bit smaller than they normally would be. That's so we could put the cowboys in front of them and they would look bigger, brawnier, and more husky. While some of the other doors are actually bigger, that's so we could put the western women in front of them and they would look smaller and more petite. So you don't need Jenny Craig, you don't need the Atkins diet, you just need a really big door. That's all anybody needs, myself included. Now, I mentioned, folks, that we've taken audiences from the bottom of the ocean to the surface of the moon. Well, here comes the bottom of the ocean, and you're instinctively looking on your right-hand side because you see water over there. Now, if anything, that's the top of the ocean on your right. The bottom of the ocean is going to be on your left-hand side. It'll be on your screens as well. That is our underwater tank. And what we'll do with that tank is we'll fill it up with water. Then we'll plop the actors inside like so. Then we'll have the camera shoot through portholes outside the tank. Like we did with Tom Hanks, Dan Aykroyd, and Alexandra Paul in Dragnet. Find that illusion hard to swallow? Well, how about this one? Over here on your right is New York Central Park, at least as much as the camera needs to see. And right next to the park set, we have Park Lake, which was used as the entire Pacific Ocean for the TV show McHale's Navy with Ernest Borgnine and Tim Conway. And you're probably thinking, Peter, how would they do that? The lake is so small. Well, it's the same principle that we used to film this scene from Peter Jackson's King Kong. This is the SS Venture arriving on Skull Island. Check it out. Now, Peter Jackson searched the world over to find the perfect ship that could double as the SS Venture, and the art department added several period set pieces to transform that vessel into a 1930s-style freighter. Hang on, I'm getting a text here. Hang on. So the guy in the second row, dude, you don't have to text me, man. I'm right here. You can just talk to me. So my bill is so high, people keep texting me and they don't have to. Anyway, right now we are going to be taking you below sea level, so you'll be able to see a view very similar to the one that Peter Jackson had when he was making King Kong. Pick up any personal belongings on the tram floors you don't want getting wet, and beware. There may be some more water just around the corner. Horribly wrong. Yep, yep, sure. It's all it takes is a duck to kill the shot. Right now, folks, we are about to round the corner. Take a look off to your left-hand side. This is a section of our lot called Little Europe, and it's called that because we can make it any European area that we want simply by changing the language on the signs. Little Europe was used on the TV show True Blood, and one of my personal favorites, Curb Your Enthusiasm. And it was also used in all 3 Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Those movies are all from Walt Disney Productions. They're all based on the popular attraction at that other place. And they all star Johnny Depp, Jeffrey Rush. Sorry, I had to say that last name real fast, otherwise the teenage girls go gaga goo goo and I lose them for 10 minutes. Yeah, go ahead and laugh, you guys. I'm not scraping another 15-year-old off the ceiling with a chisel. It's an experience you only have to live through once. Now, getting back to Universal Studios, which is why we're all here, you can't talk about Universal Studios, especially Little Europe, without talking about monster movies. What? All right, look, I know I don't look like Orlando Bloom or Brad Pitt or anybody like that, but come on, that's a little over. Anyway, right now we have a real treat in store for you. We are taking you inside of a working soundstage. This is soundstage number 50 that we have coming up. And this is a unique one, too, because it's the only 2-story soundstage in Hollywood. On the bottom half, which is what we're going to be looking at, we've recreated a subway scene, and on the top half, we have recreated a street scene, and that is what we call a Steadicam shot. That's where we can have the camera following the actors up the steps and onto the street, and it would look very realistic. In fact, some of you will tell our folks to come out. Already, folks, come right. Who's already come again? Remain seated. biggest questions that I get when people come here, especially for the first time, is usually, where's the shark? Now, normally what I say to these people is if you want to see sharks, go to SeaWorld. This is a movie studio, not an aquarium. However, today I do have a shark to show you. It's right over here on your right, and you look disappointed. You probably wanted a live one. Oh, no. Tell me that's not what I think it is out there in the water. Oh, come on. How many sharks do we have in this pond? Anyway, you know what? Well, let me get that guy out of the water. Hang on, there's a guy in there. Hey, dude! Get out of there, man. There's a shark out there. What's the matter with you, you nut? What, do you want to get killed? Oh, what the? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Well, that guy had guts. And there they are. Obviously, our guys caught a shark, not the shark. Please stay seated, everybody. Please stay seated. Thank you. Taking a look down the middle of the lake, we have a yellow buoy out there with some bait attached to it. Let's see if the shark takes the bait. He's got the bait, and the dock as well. Hang on, everybody. There's some you don't see every day, unless, of course, you're me. On the right-hand side of the tram, shark! Please stay seated, folks. The tram is moving. Well, you just survived an encounter with Bruce, the mechanical shark from Jaws. And I know what a lot of you are probably thinking. Boy, that shark looked cheesy and fake up close, didn't it? So tell me something. What was it all that screaming back there, huh? Actually, that shark is far more reliable and sophisticated than the one that was used in the movie. If you don't believe me, well, just ask Mr. Spielberg.
That's a much line shark. The shark was frustrated. It didn't really work at the time. It didn't work hardly at all.
Wherever you were on the island, you could hear the radio reads. They were always saying, the shark is not working. Repeat, the shark is not working.
We just waited around. The shark worked well enough for a while there, and it was so I really owe the shark a lot.
Isn't that a great shot? By the way, gang, did you know that Bruce the Jaws shark was actually named after Steven Spielberg's lawyer? Yes, indeed. No, he was not named after the shark from Finding Nemo. Our Bruce came first. Now, there's a modestly successful little TV show on ABC right now, which you may or may not have heard of. It's a mere trifle of a show. A little something called Desperate Housewives. Do we have any Desperate Housewives fans in the tram today? One lady raised her hand kind of timidly. Okay, well, ladies, let me explain something. Watching Desperate Housewives doesn't mean you are one. It just means you watch a show. Whether you watch it or not, whether you admit you watch it or not, get your cameras ready. We are about to turn on to Wisteria Lane. That's right. Now, these houses weren't always used for Desperate Housewives. They've actually been standing here for a number of years. Take, for instance, on your left-hand side, Gabrielle's house, this orange one. That was also Jimmy Stewart's house from the movie Harvey. Right next door, this lavender house, the one that Bob and Lee live in, that was also 1313 Mockingbird Lane, the home of the Munsters. And right next door to that, Susan's house, this yellow one coming up on your left, that was the Hardy Boys' house. Parker Stevenson and Sean Cassidy was there. Over here on your right-hand side, Bree's house, the one with the brick pathway. That was the Hanson home from Providence. And on your left-hand side, Lynette's house, that's the green one on your left, that was Ronald Reagan's house from the movie Bedtime for Bonzo. Now, this is just me, folks, but I think that Bedtime for Bonzo should be required viewing in school history classes because think about it. Where else? Where else do you get to see a United States president get mashed potatoes flung in his face? If you don't believe me, watch the movie. It happens. Now, for those of you that are not familiar with Desperate Housewives, both of you, here's a quick primer. Check this out.
The next morning, Edie Britt decided to announce her return to Wisteria Lane.
Okay, you're not going to believe this, but she's back.
Edie, is that really you? You know someone else my age was bloody like this?
it always gets stuck there. I don't know why it always gets stuck right there. It's just, oh well, I guess we're going to have to stare at Edie in a bathing suit washing a car for the rest of the tour. Oh, man. Young man, I hope your girlfriend's not on the screen right now. Let's just say I've seen game show hosts with smaller grins and having to give this thing a smack.
Ну, не знаю.
Well, what happened to your tenant?
He
came into some money and decided to move. He thought, what the heck? Let's move back. We? Oh, you don't know. I have a husband now. Really? Who's?
Oh, see? Yeah, this is Edie we're talking about here now. You know who lives... Hi, guys. You know who lives just up the hill from the Desperate Housewives? Try the Desperate Who's Wives, as in Wives of the Who's, as in the Who's, from Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Here to tell us, bless you, here to tell us a little more about the Grinch is the film's director, Oscar winner, Ron Howard.
One of the biggest creative challenges that we faced on How the Grinch Stole Christmas was to bring the storybook world of Dr. Seuss to life. Some of the most talented artists in Hollywood worked for months to create a living, breathing Whoville. When it was all done, they had built an entire city. And the fantasy world of Dr. Seuss became a reality.
Thank you very much, Ron. That movie is currently available on DVD. And hey, look at that. Look where we just happened to end up. Coming up over here on your left-hand side, soon to be on your right-hand side as you round the corner, it's Whoville from The Grinch. Now, The Grinch starred, of course, Jim Carrey, co-stars Jeffrey Tambor from The Larry Sanders Show, and Christine Baranski from Mamma Mia. And The Grinch was narrated by Sir Anthony Hopkins, who actually, believe it or not, makes an appearance in the movie, munching on roast beast with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. I'm kidding. All he does is narrate the film. He doesn't appear in it. He is best known, however, for appearing as the psycho killer Hannibal Lecter in that famous trilogy of movies. But right now, I think we need to talk about a different kind of psycho. I think we need to talk about Alfred Hitchcock's kind of psycho. Coming up over here on your right is the Bates Motel with the famous Psycho House right behind it. And I don't know what that guy's doing. Anyway, folks, we're going to pause here for just a minute, and we're going to let you get some pictures of this world-famous set, and you can, Photoshop out Whoville if you have to, because let's face it, if you have Whoville in the background, it kind of kills the effect, so you want to try and get rid of that if you can. And okay! Now, folks, if this were Halloween Horror Nights, I would not be shocked. But the fact is, it's August. Nothing happens in August. Sir, I know August is a boring month, but I think you went a little overboard. Well, okay, if I didn't know any better, I'd say that was Norman Bates over there. I'm a little freaked out by this thing. Yeah, you know what, Jade, we've overstayed our welcome. Might be a good idea if we checked out of the Bates Motel. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Okay, folks, keep your arms and legs inside. If you lose a limb, it just creates more paperwork for me. Folks, please stay seated. There you go. And now, folks, coming up is one of the most impressive movie sets ever built. The spectacular crash site from Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds. We're going to take you right into the heart of this colossal set, and we're actually going to stop the tram specifically so that you can stand up and get some amazing shots. So hang on tight, everybody, and have those cameras ready. Now, this amazing set is what remains of the neighborhood where Tom Cruise hides out in the movie. And yes, folks, that is a real plane that was destroyed just for this scene. Okay, folks, we are now stopped. You may now stand up, get as many shots as you'd like. And now, here's production designer Rick Parker.
Airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around the vision that Steven had.
When we first began to sit down to talk about the War of the Worlds, I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Keep your eyes on me. That's me. Listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Just got them closed. Robbie, get in. Get in.
Alrighty, folks. Now, how many of you have seen Jurassic Park 3? Show of hands. JP3? Alright, take a look right behind the airplane tail on your left. You might catch a glimpse of one of the InGen lab buildings from Jurassic Park 3. And here's a little something to snack on, folks. That building was sitting there the entire time they were making War of the Worlds. Just to keep that in the back of your heads the next time you watch War of the Worlds.
Right now, folks, I want you to get your cameras ready because we're turning on to Bing Crosby Drive. Coming up over here on your right-hand side, we have a log cabin that was used in the great outdoors, starring John Candy and Dan Aykroyd.
Thanks for indulging me. Right behind the log cabin over there on your right is Falls Lake. There's no water in it, but trust me, it is a lake. And it was built in 1987 for the movie Jaws the Revenge, starring Michael Caine and Lorraine Gary. It was later used in Jurassic Park 3 with Sam Neill, The Hulk with Eric Bana, Apollo 13 with Tom Hanks, Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman, Bruce Almighty with Jim Carrey, and Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, starring George Clooney and a cow. Moo. And you know, filmmaking has advanced a lot in the last decade thanks to computer-generated imagery, otherwise known as CGI. So with CGI, we can sink the Titanic, bring back dinosaurs from extinction, have a dog do its business on cue, or even turn Andy Serkis into a grumpy monkey. And one of our biggest films to use CGI was The Mummy, starring Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz. Here to tell us a little bit more about The Mummy is the film's director, Steven Sommers.
Hi, I'm Steven Sommers, the writer-director of The Mummy. When I began this project, I knew it was going to be a challenging shift.
Well, that's very nice, Stephen, but right now we are approaching a section of our lot where we shot some of The Mummy. Now, the last thing to shoot in here was a Whoopi Goldberg movie, but here's the thing. Whoopi and the entire crew vanished without a trace. We still don't know what happened to them. But it looks like we're going to find out. I just got to look at our driver, Jade. He's got spirals in his eyes. I think he's fallen under the Mummy's spell. Girls, you better hold on to your boyfriends. We're heading into the Mummy's tomb. By the way, folks, you don't need your 3D glasses in here. Uh-oh, someone robbed the coffin. Oh, man, scarab beetles. Seems to be the lilies. Congratulations, folks! You just survived the curse of the Mummy's tomb. And why are you all staring at me? What, is there something on my face? What are you looking at me like that for? What? No, I'm okay. You're okay. Everybody's okay. Whoopi's okay. Jimmy's okay. Jimmy! Dude, speak to us!
Well, I can't believe it. We've made it to the end of our tour, you guys. How about
Peter?
And
Jay!
Weren't they the best? Hey, before we go, I'd like to sing you a little song I made up. I was just 5 years old. It's called Tramtastic. We had a real good time together. Now the ride is done. We saw some crazy cool stuff. And we had a lot of fun. This tram has made its final stop. But don't be sad and blue, 'cause there's still one more thing that I'd like to say to you. Have a tramtastic day. Have a tramtastic night. Watch your step as you exit the tram, and everything will be alright. Come on, have a tramtastic day. Have a tramtastic night. Just watch your step as you exit the tram, and everything will be alright. Just the dads now, and everything will be alright. Just the moms, and everything will be alright. Just yours. Okay, have a tramtastic day. Have a tramtastic night. Watch your step as you exit the tram. Everything will be alright. Yeah, thank you for coming to the Universal Tour, everybody. Get home safe. Tramtastic day.
Alrighty, folks, I want to show you a few things over here on the valley, over here on your right-hand side. A lot of what you're seeing out there is the town of Burbank. Those big tan barn-like buildings in the distance are our neighbors, the Warner Brothers. If you ever watched Animaniacs and you were growing up, you might recognize the Water Tower, home to Yakko, Wacko, and their sister Dot. Also down there in Burbank is the Walt Disney Studios. You can't really see them, but they are down there. And NBC4, which is our local affiliate here in LA. That's where Jay Leno does The Tonight Show, among other things. Now, some people like to ask me, can you see the Hollywood sign from here? The answer is no, you cannot. It's on the other side of that mountain on the right there. That's Mount Lee. However, if you were to get in a helicopter and go up and over the Hollywood sign and go behind it, this is what you'd see, Burbank. In fact, you might even recognize... You can't see the Hollywood sign from here, unfortunately, but what you can see is the Burbank B. See that letter B in the mountains there? That stands for Burbank. A lot of the smaller towns here in Southern California like to put just the first letter of their town up in the mountain, I guess so you don't get lost. But there's a B in Burbank, a G in Glendale, an M in Monrovia, a D in Duarte. And if you watch the movie Cars, when Lightning McQueen goes to Radiator Springs, there's an RS in the mountains for that. Radiator Springs. Now, you might also recognize a golf course down there. That is the Lakeside Country Club. A lot of golf aficionados like to ask me if that's part of our property. The answer is, again, no, it is not. That place was actually founded in the 1920s by a bunch of actors who wanted to play golf where they wouldn't be looked down upon by the upper crust, because at that time, acting was considered a lowly profession. And you're probably thinking, wait a minute, acting, lowly, how many gajillions of dollars did they get for a movie? Well, that's today. See, back in the 20s, about half the actors on film were living from hand to mouth and getting hit in the face with pies on a regular basis. So it was a little different than it is now. Nowadays, ironically enough, that is one of the most exclusive golf courses in the country. We're talking 2 arms and 2 legs for 9 holes, and that's if you're a member. And if you want to hit an actor with a pie, you generally have to pay them extra. I'm not kidding, folks. The Screen Actors Guild, which is the union that regulates actors on film, that they count getting hit with a pie as a stunt. So you get stunt pay for that. Pretty cool, huh? Now, we are nearing the end of our time together, obviously, and most movies in the 1990s, most comedies anyway, would end it with a gag reel, and we are going to do no different. Here's the Universal Studios gag reel.
Hey, something.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Good, they're rolling through.
Let's start over. We can't get no rep around the leg, that ain't funny.
Owen Wilson cracked up Robert De Niro. Not everyone can say they're able to do that. We're not nearing the end of our time together. If you have any questions or if you just want to come on up and say hi, I'll be standing at the front of the tram waiting to answer your questions. Once again, my name is Peter. Our driver's name is Jade. We want to thank you all for riding the studio tour today. You have been a wonderful audience, a fantastic audience, if you will. Also want to thank our annual pass holders for joining us today. Now, if you're not an annual pass holder and you want to become one, stop by the Hollywood Ticket Outlet. It's located right near the Blues Brothers stage. They'll be glad to show you how you can apply your general admission price towards the cost of an annual pass. It's a great deal, gets you in the park free for a whole year. If you still have your 3D glasses with you, do us a favor, throw them in the big blue recycling bins we have in the unload area. They are just for 3D glasses. They are not for trash. Enjoy the rest of your day here at Universal Studios Hollywood, the entertainment capital of LA. And as we say here in Hollywood, that is a wrap. So long, everybody.